Good afternoon. It is March 23rd. I'm bringing you the DraftKings lineups a little early this week just because there's so many underdogs that I like in this upcoming card, and I want you guys to be able to get them while their value is there. So for my first one, guys, I'm going to go through my lineup what I did this week. If you like it, you know, use it. If not, it's up to you, or just take what you like from it. First of all, starting with the main event, Stipe. He's pretty much one of the. I think I'm looking at it right now. He's one of the third biggest underdogs on this card, which is insane for the heavyweight champ who's defended the title more than anybody. He just came off two pretty convincingly wins over DC. You know, he dominated Francis already once, and everybody keeps telling me, well, Francis has made all these changes, and I go back and I look and I say, where did he make these changes? The longest fight he's had in the past 4 fights have been 1 minute and 11 seconds. You can't tell me that he's improved that much when he's finishing these guys and, you know, just kind of steamrolling them. We haven't seen any wrestling. Everybody says that he's improving in the gym, but I'm not seeing it during fights. And I just don't, you know, for me, Stipe is just a better overall fighter in general. You know, he can do a little bit of everything. He's not the best at anything, but he can do a little bit of everything pretty well, to where I don't see how Francis wins this fight. It's how me and John always said. We always go with, you know, if you're ever listening to the podcast, you know, it's whatever fighter has more ways to victory, that's what we're going to go with. Stipe has more ways to win this fight than Francis. If you want to bet, this is some of the bets that I like as well with this fight. I like the over-under. I think it's 1.5 rounds right now. I'm taking over all day long with Stipe. Stipe's plus 110. Give me Stipe all day long. If you're gonna disrespect the champ that much, that's on you. But you know, if you fall in love with that power and you think Francis is going to catch him, then go with Francis. But me personally, I don't see that happening. I see a very similar fight going on to what happened last time. I could be wrong. Am I saying that Francis has no chance? No, but I don't see. Like I said, Stipe has more ways to win this fight than Francis. So Stipe is one of my locks this week. All right, next, the co-main event. Tyron Woodley and Vicente Luque. So, with this one, I've never been a really big Tyron fan to begin with, but I think his back's against the wall. He's a former champ. And when I say former champ, this is a guy that most people consider one of the best welterweights on the planet at one point. You know, look at who he's beat. He's beat Wonder Boy. He beat Damian Maia. Stopped Darren Till. You know, he looked awful against Kamaru Usman. Looked awful against Gilbert Burns. Looked awful against Colby Covington. You know, this whole backing up to the fence, staying there, and just looking at the clock, waiting for the time to run out. It's not the same Tyron Woodley that we're used to seeing. What we're used to seeing is Tyron Woodley coming forward. You know, we're used to seeing that Tyron Woodley that stalked Wonder Boy, that put Wonder Boy down twice, you know, that finished Darren Till. You know, that's the Woodley that we're used to seeing when he was the champ. And I think Usman kind of broke him. Now, with that being said, Vicente Luque is going to come forward. He's going to put the pressure on Woodley. I could see this being a very similar fight to what's been going on with Woodley in the past. Now, with my DraftKings lineup, I had to kind of finagle some things around. I took Tyron Woodley. I'll tell you that. at 7,100, to fit in the $50,000 salary cap that you have to use for this. And again, guys, I'm using just mainly main cards. I'm not doing prelim fights. This is just something that you can use. I just do mainly main card fights, just so everybody can kind of follow along with this. But I do use some of the prelim fighters as well. But Tyron Woodley, I went with him with 7,100. I could see possibly Woodley catching him. That's really what I'm banking on. If the Woodley comes out that wants to wrestle, and he can, Woodley can wrestle. He just has not shown it in the past. And from what I'm seeing is he looks like he's in great shape from most of his posts. We'll see how he does. I'm kind of taking a gamble here with Woodley. I think Luque is the better fighter right now. I could easily see this backfiring on me big time, but that's going to be one of my dogs this week. Is I like Tyron Woodley. I'm going with him just sheerly on what he's done in the past, and that I think that he can become that fighter that he was before the Usman fight. All right. Excuse me, let me get some of this. Man, I got some of this at the gas station today, and I usually drink like sparkling water, and this thing has zero because I've been trying not to drink zero sugar and caffeine or whatever. It's got like 160 milligrams of caffeine, so this thing is loaded with caffeine. But they're pretty damn good. It's like a sparkling energy drink. I've never had them before. I'm just trying it, but it's not bad. But going back to the next fight, I've got Sean O'Malley versus Thomas Almeida. This is going to be a fun fight if Sean O'Malley shows up and Thomas Almeida both show up for this one. I could easily see Almeida winning this fight. And it's kind of what I've been listening to a little bit. And Sean O'Malley, it just depends on how he comes back from that Marlon Vera fight. Is he going to have that same swagger that he's had when he was undefeated and he was steamrolling guys and just knocking everybody out in the first or second round and just like those walk-off KOs? I don't know, because he did not take that loss very well. I thought he was, I thought he was pretty sensitive about it and thought that it wasn't a real loss. But in all honesty, those calf kicks are no joke. Look what happened to Connor, with Dustin. Those things are no joke, man. And people are using them, and especially down at American Top Team, those guys are perfecting it. I'm not sure where Almeida trains, but I know it's down there in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, down there somewhere. And Almeida can, if he saw what Chito Vera did with those calf kicks, I would tear up Sean O'Malley's legs with that. Now, if the Sean O'Malley comes out with that same swagger that he's had, just in steamrolling people, I like it. I did take Sean O'Malley in this fight. Believe his salary was $9,200. I do like the value that Almeida gives you. I think he's one of the second biggest underdog on this card. So if you do want to go that way, I don't blame you one bit. I've got a lineup with Thomas Almeida in it, and I love that as well. But I'm going with Sean O'Malley. I'm a fan of his. I like Sugar Sean. I want him to do well. I want him to be one of those next bantamweights that moves up. This is purely just off of me being a fan of him. Excuse me. All right, next, I've got Kama Worthy. I just think that, this fight's going to be a pretty quick fight. I think Kama finishes in the first round. I haven't really seen too many of Molkery. I think that's how you say it. I'm not sure. So sorry if I brutalized your name. I haven't seen too many of his fights. I just like Kama in this one. Next is, and at 8,600, I couldn't. I mean, they were pretty much a pick 'em at this point as far as salary goes, and I like that. And then next, I've got Miranda Maverick versus Jillian Robertson. This fight was scheduled to happen already once. I believe it was COVID protocols that had to postpone this fight. I like Miranda. She's a younger fighter. I think she's just going to push the pace, and I think she finishes that fight in the second round. She is one of the bigger favorites on this card as well, but I like her value at 8,800. And then next and last pick for me. Now this fight is a pick'em. It's William Knight and Alonzo Menifield. They're both valued at 8,200. I like William Knight in this fight. I think the man's just a tank. He's from the Dana White Contender Series. I think he gets it done with first, second round stoppage. So, excuse me. Those are going to be my DraftKings picks of the week. I hope you enjoyed this and you enjoy the fights this weekend, enjoy the basketball, and we'll see you next time.